snore all the way to Colorado.
I do not snore.
You're like a chainsaw. I mean the earth shook in the motel last night. At least a 7 on the Richter scale.
No way!
Admit it, Mean. You wake up, dead dogs.
That is not funny.
I've never told you this, but we had an older brother.
Huh?
He left home when you were a baby. Couldn't stand your snoring.
That is really not funny.
Then there was that cat. Jumped to his death one night to keep from going crazy.
Dean!
Walked out onto the window ledge, thought about it for a minute, then took one look at you, just saw him laying your bed.
Dean!
Meow!
You're not funny anymore. Not even one little bit funny. Slugbug! What? You missed it. A slugbug. I win.
I was distracted.
You are distracting is what you are. You are crazy is what you are. You are a pain in the neck, and if this car doesn't get to Colorado in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna go nuts is what you are.
You know, Rain, sometimes you're just no fun. Just no fun at all. I mean, I was just trying to pass the time. I don't even care about the stupid line down the middle of the seat. Besides, I told myself I'd wait until we got to Kansas. Until I gave you the note that Adam told me to give you. I only read a part of it myself. Of course, I couldn't believe what he said. I guess if you don't want to talk, I'll just call him from Colorado. I tell him you didn't want to read it.
Give me the letter.
Hey, Mom just turned around. Huh? She said to quiet down. Her dad's gonna put his Hank Williams tape in the stereo.
Oh, great. Now give me the letter.
What letter?
Adam's letter. Give me Adam's letter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can suffer through Hank Williams just to see you lying on the floor of this car, Dean.
Can't you take a joke?
You mean there wasn't any letter?
Sorry.
I don't think I'm gonna like this vacation one bit.
It was more like a note, actually.
Dean!
A memo, sort of. Just a few scribbles.
I don't believe a word you're saying.
Fine by me. Of course, it'll break his heart when he finds out you didn't even want to read it.
You're wasting your breath. I'm not even listening.
You always make that little squiggle under his name when he signs it.
Dean!
Mom! Help! She's trying to kill me!
Gertie and heart will tell on you. You're crying the whole way through.
I think I'm going out of my mind.
How long before we get to Colorado?
12 years, I think.
I'll never make it. I swear I will never make it.
From vacation.
Want to play a game?
Shut up, Jean.
Tell me again why we're taking this vacation.
To deepen our family bonds of love and devotion.
Oh.
So how are we doing so far?
We're walking a very fine line.
Zigzag, Kuma Pi wa Egimax. We're part of a unique species, you and I. Humans are the only creatures on Earth who can harness the power of mathematics and science to build astonishing structures, cure disease, and explore new frontiers. This list of remarkable feats also extends to a field of study that many people give little thought to. With this skill, we can change the outcome of an impending event because it allows us to glimpse into the future. The subject of which I speak is cryptology. Cryptology, according to the University of California, Santa Cruz, is the science of hiding and involves the reading, writing, and breaking of encrypted information. It has been key in plots to assassinate monarchs, send battle plans to military commanders in secret, you name it. Today I'm going to tell you about cryptology in the ancient world, the cryptological movement of the 20th century, and how cryptology lends itself to our daily lives. To begin, cryptology has been part of the history of many ancient civilizations. In particular, it was key to the ancient Egyptian, Greek, Hebrew, and Roman societies. The Egyptians are credited with the first development of cryptology. Dr. Michael Whitman, a professor of information services at Kennesaw State University, claims, around 1900 BC, Egyptian scribes used non-standard hieroglyphs while inscribing clay tablets. Whitman's claim is that these scribes used odd combinations of glyphs to conceal the true meanings of their messages, making the Egyptians the pioneers of cryptology. 1,500 years after the Egyptians invented cryptology, the Hebrews became the next people to experiment. A pamphlet published by the University of Regina claims that the Hebrew people invented an early substitution cipher called Atbash. The Atbash cipher was essentially a substitution cipher that reversed the letters of the alphabet so that the first letter was translated as the last letter, the second letter translated as the second to last letter, and so on. Today, the Atbash cipher is not considered to be very secure due to its simplistic nature, but in 500 BC it was a very advanced accomplishment, so it served the Hebrew people well. After the Hebrews began to experiment with cryptology, the Greeks began to do likewise. However, in 400 BC, the Greeks were using a more physical method of concealment. StudentPulse.com asserts that instead of changing the meanings of their messages, the Greeks wound tape around a stick of a certain diameter and wrote their messages on it. When the tape was unraveled, the message became illegible. The only way to read the message again was to wrap the tape around a stick of the same diameter used to write the message. Finally, in 100 BC, the Roman Empire became the last of the 4 prominent civilizations to use cryptology. Roman cryptologists were immortalized for their invention of the famous Caesar cipher. Like the Hebrew Atbash cipher, the Caesar cipher manipulates the alphabet and completely transforms the outward appearance of a message. First, it shifts the letters of the alphabet an amount agreed upon by both the message's sender and receiver, and then translates the message using this letter shift. After the fall of the Roman Empire, further development of cryptology ceased temporarily. It took World War I, a tremendous generator of invention, to initiate a new cryptological era. In 1917, engineer Gilbert Verham invented the one-pad cipher and revived the science of cryptology. The one-pad cipher introduced the use of key phrases or pads to decode messages. If pads were kept secret and changed frequently, messages encoded with them became unbreakable. The one-pad cipher showed Western civilization how useful cryptology is, and thus a new era of espionage was born. Germany also pushed the boundaries of cryptology by inventing the famous Enigma machine a year later. Essentially, this contraption generated a series of random letter shifts using a pad, and then translated the message using this letter shift. My grandfather, Richard Sowen, a former lieutenant in the Navy, often pulled crypto duty on his vessel using a machine similar to the Enigma of World War II. He told me in an interview, "We used a top-secret machine that had to be set up mechanically with a new pad each day." Today, machine encryption is now an obsolete technology, but there was one other form of encryption the United States military possessed that no other nation was ever able to crack, the Navajo Wind Talker. The Navajo Indians possess a unique language. Because it matured in isolation, away from foreign influence, the Navajo language is different from most tongues in nearly every imaginable way. This is why in 1942, a man named Gilbert Verham went to the United States military with a revolutionary idea. NavajoPeople.org claims that this man went to the United States military with the idea to further encode battlefield radio transmission with the Navajo language. His idea proved to be extremely effective because there were few people outside of the Navajo tribe that were familiar with this tongue. So the Navajo Wind Talkers, as they soon came to be called, were responsible for foiling the Japanese Navy in the Pacific Theater time and time again, and were a great credit to their uniform. These are 3 of the most important cryptological events of the 20th century. Finally, previous developments of cryptology lend themselves to our lives in different ways. Online banking, shopping, and texting are 3 real-world applications of cryptology today. The United States Department of the Treasury claims that approximately $5 trillion is transferred electronically each and every day worldwide. Should something happen to any of this money as it is being transferred, banks become liable because it was their software that lost the money in the first place, be it to thieves or some other misfortune. People invest their faith in addition to their money in the security of an online bank. This is why in previous years there has been an increased demand for cryptologists who specialize in cybersecurity. Cryptologists have also made online shopping a safe experience for consumers. If people believed that identity theft was a serious threat while shopping online, fewer people would do it. Luckily, we have cryptologists to thank for the protection of the personal information we submit to third-party vendors, such as Amazon or eBay. Finally, if you text with a cell phone, chances are you practice cryptology each and every day. You just don't realize it. Consider how many times you rattled off the texting acronyms LOL, BRB, or FYI. Are these not examples of characters used to mark, identify, or represent something else? After all, teenagers use these texting acronyms every day to send messages that their technologically ignorant parents cannot understand. In conclusion, cryptology is an age-old art that pertains to the reading, writing, and breaking of encrypted information. It has been perfected and rewritten many times in history. When you think about it, cryptology is everywhere. It's simply hidden in the best possible way, in plain sight, right under your adversary's nose in an unreadable and unexploitable form. Oh, do you remember that little phrase I spoke to you at this speech's beginning? Zig zut, kuma kuma piwa edumax? I was simply wishing you a good day and preparing you for an interesting, informative speech. But you couldn't have known that, could you?
In a world where thin is in, a mirror can be a girl's worst enemy, for the mirror only reflects what it sees, the truth. Mirrors by Charlotte Cooper. I often hear, mostly from psychologists on talk shows, how teenagers see distorted images in our full-length mirror. The mirrors that are decorated with prom pictures, snapshots, and cute boys. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, David Duchovny. In my room, Ben, Matt, and David are next to my bed. They're on the wall across from my mirror, on my desk, on my ceiling, but not around my mirror. Around my mirror are women. Kate Moss, Heather Locklear, Callista Flockhart. I get to see them as I look at myself. And I am disgusted. After seeing what I should look like around the mirror, I hate my body and self. I truly believe that I should look that way. Because no matter what I say in class about images, I truly believe that it is my own fault that I don't look like a model. I feel that I don't deserve anything when I look in the mirror. And the reflective image shocks me. Because in my mind, I have a very different self-image. I'm not skinny, but trim and fit. Then I catch sight of myself, and I think, I can't imagine what everyone else must think of me. And of course, it is always about what everyone else thinks. I know I'm going to slap my mother one of these days for telling me to eat less and giving me the look. I know she's ashamed that I'm not as thin as she was in high school. I can't wear her vintage cardigans. I can't even fit into her wedding dress. She says it's about health. Maybe it is. But when her eyes are sorrowful as I walk into the kitchen, maybe I'm not even eating. And the corner of her lips curl inward in implication. I scream at her, "Leave me alone!" And she just looks at me like she always does. And that look just makes me want to stuff myself. If my mother can't accept me with my body, who am I to love myself? Mothers know best. I'm letting her down. I know if I were my mother, I'd be ashamed of me. Ashamed to take me shopping. Asking the sales ladies, can we order that in a bigger size? I can't torture myself physically. I'm not dedicated enough to be bulimic, anorexic, exercising all day, starving myself. I read all the stories, and I know, while saying out loud, how could anyone do this to herself? That I still wish I could be like them. They like me too much to mutilate, but not enough to accept. I'm jealous of anorexic women. I know that anorexia and bulimia are diseases. I know they are destructive. I know they are deadly. But I want to join. Where do I sign up? If risking my mind, my sanity, the body I hate to inhabit, is the price for thinness, I am willing to pay. But even as I am willing to pay, I can't. I lack commitment. So on go the long, silent talks with the mirror image. The image I dread to look at, but from which I can't tear my gaze away. Purple lines mark my body. Battle scars? No, scars of cowardice. I wouldn't have these brandings if I only had some control. I berate myself. And I stare, as if looking at them will make them go away. As a woman who loves herself in the mind, I know I deserve everything, and I should get it. As a girl who hates herself in the body, I know I deserve nothing, and should get it. It froths. I feel my blood hurtling, but I can't stop looking at myself, and I can't stop hating myself. Sometimes I just want to tear it down and scream, "No more, no more!" But other times, I just stare at myself in the mirror. And sometimes I just cry.